Okay, so this video starts immediately after the last one. I'm only spending like 10-15 minutes on each video at the minute, just want to get them all out now I'm getting a little bit of better audio. We're going to do some combat stuff and just talk through key bindings. Right, so what I've got set up on my throttle and joystick combination here is that weapon switching is set up. In fact, I need to go to manual fire.
Manual fire!
Manual fire, excellent, okay. On the hat button, if you go into the main menu, you can select next target, next vehicle, and all that kind of stuff. So essentially what I do is I go through into the settings and I set my my hat switches for up for next target, cancel next target, next vehicle, next empty vehicle. I also have combination buttons for, just let me press my button, it won't let me press that one because it's sling loaded. Okay, yeah, I have a button there for auto hover, very rarely use that. In fact, I do tend to use the auto hover button, generally when I'm sling loading. It only really has value for me at that point. But yeah, I've got this sling loading button, I've got the undercarriage button, I have a button for brake, I have, it's up to personal preferences and what's useful for everybody. I haven't set up any light switches, I just use the scroll menu for lights really. I have buttons set up for flaps up, flaps down. I have a button on my actual joystick for the countermeasures dispersal. I also have buttons for primary weapon and secondary weapon, so I've just selected that again as part of my joystick. What else have I got set up? It really just personal preference, set it up for you, it's trial and error, go into editor and just try different things. One of the questions I was asked on, it's a really interesting question, is how does it react with AI gunner in the vehicle, and I think more importantly than your key combinations is how does it work with AI, and my answer to that is brilliant in terms of vehicles, not very well at all when it comes down to infantry. So let me show you. Right now I'm going to stick in men and we will go for helicopter crew, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to up his skill to the absolute max. Then I'm going to load him into the chopper. You need to already be in the chopper. If you're not in the chopper, he won't be able to. He won't be able to get in. Looks like he's not being able to get in now, to be fair. Right, where is that? Why can't he get in? Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do, we will add a new chopper. This one's having a bit of a meltdown obviously, so what we'll do is we'll stick this one down. Get out. Pilot. Brilliant. Right, I'm in. And then we'll drag the gunner in. There we go. And now he's in. So let me make sure his skill is up. Right, so let's put some targets down. There's the older LZs for where we were previously. But what we'll do is we will stick some targets down here at this airbase, and we will go for we're looking for simple stuff, I think. We'll stick some GMGs here, GMG there, one way, and one of those. We'll stick Mahid at the top there. And I think that's about it for now. Now then, infantry wise, what we'll do is we'll stick infantry at these points here. And interestingly, I'm going to stick them in this car park. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, so that gives us plenty to contend with. Now then, when I'm flying this and I'm using AI, I have it set on manual fire. And then I can select the weapons, and I can also select when we fire. It works on the premise that my gunner identifies the targets based on what I do with my my hat switch. So identify next target, identify next vehicle. Not very good at identifying infantry at all, and very good at identifying vehicles. So I need to be careful about my approach here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fly around this way, and I think try and approach from this way. I fear that the mountains here could be a problem. In fact, what we'll do is we'll attempt firstly. I'm kind of like changing my mind now. We'll go for an approach here, and if that doesn't work, then we'll probably swing around and come in from the west. I just don't want to get seen by the enemy. Okay, so where are we going? Where are we going? We're going there. 6.3 kilometers. Okay, let's raise it up. Brilliant. Gear up. Okay, off we go. I have a weapon selection thing, so I can just siphon through my weapons there. Okay, so I'm going to use it on the cannon for now. And one thing I tend to do with this chopper is not fly it at 100 miles an hour because, sorry, not when I say 100 miles an hour, I'm being kind of metaphorical, really hypothetical, but actually I do fly it at 100. I suppose I'm meant to say I don't fly it at light speed, I don't fly it beyond its capabilities. If you fly it too fast and then you throw it into a manoeuvre, it just kind of like disintegrates, or you lose all kind of torque while flying it, and then you lose the chopper before you even got to your AO. So my advice is take it low, take it slow, and be considered about how you fly it. And my visibility isn't too great actually here. Too high. What I want to do is use the terrain between me and the other vehicles to mask where we are, and if needs be, use the terrain to protect the vehicle. Now then, we know at around about 5 kilometers is the range of the radar. So what I'm going to do for the moment is, if you forgive me, I'm just going to make sure my view settings are appropriate, because I don't want to get stuck in a scenario -2, -3, -4, so I'm getting into a ring vortex here. Let's just get this up. Okay, while we're going up there, configure video. It's just for weather it's affecting it. Okay, brilliant. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just nip over this valley here. And then if you look over there, there's a gap in that hillside. We'll follow that round and through. Take out some HUDs. They're my key concern at the moment. So we'll go for high explosives. Got my eye on the radar at the moment. I am on manual fire. 3 kilometers from the airfield. The outer ring is 5 kilometres, the inner ring on your radar is 1.3 kilometres. As you know, I tend to use 1.3 kilometres as my slowdown point, so if I'm going into an LZ, I use that for slowing down. Okay, I'm going to start seeing stuff on the radar soon. Okay, got some factories here. Reduce airspeed here, that's a key thing, and this isn't a very powerful chopper at all. The Apache mods, far better power than this vanilla Arma chopper. It's a nice chopper, don't get me wrong, it's just so underpowered. It can be very, very nippy when you fly it at high speed, but it's just so fragile. So very, very fragile. Okay, not seeing anything at the moment, just let me check my map. So that's my marker here. I'm just going to stick my nose above the parapet and let's just see what happens. Now, I can't physically see anything, so it'll all determine on my gunner.
Target it.
So
2 clicks, 4 o'clock.
To identify targets by pressing
No
the
target.
switch.
Target it. 2 clicks, 5 o'clock. Target the MRAP. Target the APC.
Okay, there we go. Target the APC. I'm slowly drifting towards it because I don't want to get too hung up by it, and I need to look at an exfil point if he fires on me. At the moment, the only route I've got is behind that big hill there, or to actually neg out. Control the airspeed, control the altitude. I need to be as shallow as possible here. Missile away. Shot fired. Boom. Okay.
Target the MRAP. 1.5 clicks. 1
Just
o'clock.
use my next vehicle key. Swinging the nose around. Missile away.
No target. Target the MRAP.
Select
1.5
next
clicks.
vehicle.
12 o'clock.
Missile away.
No target.
Okay, so I've taken out a Madrid and 2 Ifrits. And I actually have eyes on. Oh, there we
Target
go.
the MRAP. 1 click. 9 o'clock.
Missile away. So what I was doing there is just while I was slowly manoeuvring, I was just pressing the hat switch for the next
No
vehicle.
200 meters. No target. 200 meters.
Still
10
doing
o'clock.
it now, just hovering now, just bringing that nose around.
No target.
Nothing as yet. It's not identifying anything. Now you'll notice that it's not even identifying infantry either. Let's go to the Gatling gun and see what's going on. If I manoeuvre, oh there you go, the crosshairs have moved, it's identified some infantry, it's brilliant. Actually, what I'm going to do is, see that's unique actually.
Target the APC.
Okay, bingo. Bingo.
Cancel target.
So I'm just using my hat switch again to identify any more vehicles as we slowly approach the area. Nothing's lighting up other than the actual vehicles which are smoking right now. That's because I'm a badass. Okay. Switching back to guns, asking my gunner to identify them. If you look on your screen here in the corner, you'll see that he's identified some. So what I'm going to do right now is just raise the chopper slightly. I'm using my hat switch right now because I need to know that these vehicles are destroyed before I start taking out infantry. Now you're seeing something. Now then, for the moment, I'm going to go into Zeus. Let's have a look in Zeus if there are any vehicles still active. So look, we've got an Ifrit still active. And the rest are all infantry. Oh, we've got 2 Ifrits active. Look at that.
Target the MRAP.
So we use guns for the for that Ifrit. It's 1 down.
Cancel target.
Cancel target. We do know there's another one somewhere.
Target the MRAP. No target.
Right, so we know that in the middle we have infantry. In fact, we can actually see them there, just where my line is going through them right now. They're there. But they don't show up anywhere. Now then, my gunner has moved the gun, and you can see now that he's got them there. You actually, in order to destroy infantry, you've got to get this close. You can't seem to do it with your AI gunner. Really less than, more than this, sorry. You can't sit like a kilometre and pick off infantry with an AI gunner. It just doesn't work. And even though we've got fields and fields and fields of infantry here, who are all running, you can just see them running across that middle part of the park. My gunner's not targeting them. Not even on my gunner's reticule there. So, as I look at what my gunner's doing, he's just facing forward, and yet look, it's just nothing. Absolutely nothing infantry-wise at all. One thing that really lets down the game is the AI gunner. Oh, look at that now he's woke up. So he's targeting them and pressing the fire key. Let's do a little experiment. If we cancel manual fire, leave it on the gun, how soon will it be, despite the fact we know that all our infantry are there, how soon will it be before he opens fire on them?
Fire!
I press my fire key. He's still not firing. We're now circling them. You can see them plain as day. I'm actually almost landing on the airfield and I've still not got him shooting. Okay, I'm using a technique right now called funneling. It's a bit of an advanced flight thing going on there. I'm not going to go into describing what it is and how to do it right now. It's called funneling. It's going around your targets in a circle. It's one of them things you just have to practice once you've mastered your flight model. So right now we are funneling the enemy right now, but my gunner isn't even really bothered at all. He's like, yeah, whatever. I wonder actually if he's run out of bullets. Let's go to
manual fire.
Look at that, as soon as I switch it to manual fire, there you go. So that's how close I have to be to infantry before I can actually take them out. That's not great, is it? Let's be honest. And it makes no difference in terms of which person you choose to